This is Marky Bravo for Travel and Bang. This video is going to be off topic, okay? So, yeah, I know. Sorry about that. So no sexy, Ride the Pony song in the background. The intro, I left it out. Okay, I want to touch on a subject. Few people had asked me about it. As a U.S. Army combat veteran, how do I feel about this the crisis that's happening in Ukraine? And people were asking me my opinion. How should the U.S. react? And I want to tell you something so you understand what they're not telling you or what you need to rationally think out, right? So I was in the U.S. Army during the Iraq invasion times, okay? And I saw the full brutality, the horrors of war and hatred on Al-Assad air base in Iraq. You know, a very violent area, rocket attacks all the time, type of rockets that just rock the world, shake the ground, you know what I mean? I mean, the fried chicken guy, the Iraqi used to sell fried chicken on base. Someone murdered him and chopped him up and mutilated him and left his body parts on the front. You know, Marine told me this, you know, on the front gate. Same thing happened to the DVD guy. Can you believe that? I mean, the brutality that people are capable of when they're in war mode is just, it's, and God knows, you know, our government is, our military, we're not saints either. We know that, you know what I mean? But I think at the end of the day, we as Americans, most of us, we mean well. The Ukraine, let me touch on that. Remember Rambo, Second Blood? Remember when they caught Rambo? He was like running around that POW camp in Vietnam and they tied him or chained him to a bed spring. You know what I mean? And they electrocuted him. That movie is an awesome, I know it's not real, it's fiction, I know that, but the movie is an awesome analogy of the brutality of the Soviet Russian. You know what I mean? And that was a perfect scene because that really depicted the shit they're into. You know what I mean? And taking that as an analogy, look at the leader of the country, a former KGB agent. Okay, he's been around for a long time. He holds a lot of grudges, lots of grudges. A lot of men can suppress the grudges, or they become zen. They can forgive, they can move on. And then some people suppress the grudge, and that anger finally comes out. Okay, so he comes from an era where you know, the Soviets, you know, not their people, but their government despised the West. Okay, he has just decided, as we all know, to invade Iraq. I mean, Ukraine. See, my mind's all over the place. Ukraine. I see all these people drumming the war drum. Bum, 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 bum. Let's help them. Let's send troops. And you know what I'm saying? And then the leader of Ukraine is saying the same thing, like, oh, help, show us you're with us, show us you're with us. You know what? I understand. I understand the pain, I understand the anger, I understand the rage, the fury. But they're asking us, imagine someone asking you to get into a UFC octagon pit fighting cage with a 500-pound gorilla, okay, that just got done shooting anabolic steroids. Someone asking you to go into the octagon to fight a 500-pound gorilla. Who do you think is going to win? That gorilla will rip you from limb to limb, literally, not figuratively. Okay, and I know it's a shitty analogy, but it's the only one I could grab out of the air, right? And that is Russia. Okay, that is, you know, and look, Russians as a whole, the people, awesome people. You know what I mean? I worked with a lot of Russians. You know what I mean? Contracting in Afghanistan, you run into a lot of Russians in that business over there in that part of the world. But we're talking about former Soviet Russian people in the government. They hate our guts. They have nuclear weapons. For people to ask us to piss this man off more, he's going to pull out nuclear weapons. You know, people, there's no world going to be left once these nuclear, hydrogen, atomic bombs, whatever, start exploding. Do you understand that? There won't be a planet left. Most of us will die from nuclear fallout. So for people, whatever reasons, even people in our government to, you know, drum the war drum, let's fight, let's kick their ass. You know, this is something you could say in 1942 when, you know, no one had weapons like that. You just had army tanks, propeller planes and machine guns and grenades and rockets. That's it. You could say that then. You know what I mean? But to act like, you know, or even worse, grab your sword and put on the knight in armor and fight for your honor. You know what I mean? That's how ridiculous it sounds. That's how ridiculous it sounds. Those days are over. I don't know about you, but I love my life. Life every day isn't a fun thing. There's struggle. There's times where, you know, we all feel it. We're like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, shit. You know what I mean? But it's the only world we got. It's the life that we love. It's the life that we deal with. Don't let people who are consumed with anger and rage and hurt, rightfully so, pull us into some shit like that. And people in our government who have, you know, lots of stocks in the defense corporations, right? The military industrial complex, people who are just looking to get rich quick, not understanding that if you engage in a war with Russia, it'll be the end of the world. You won't be around to spend that money, you dumbass. This ain't Saddam Hussein and the Iraqi military, people. This is Russia. Let me say that again. This is Russia. This is the Russian bear we're talking about. Let them take over the country. That's what we're probably going to have to let happen. It doesn't, we can blame each other and say, you're a weak president and this and this. It is what it is. The best thing we can do, our government should do, is tell people to evacuate the fucking country. All right? Get off the Titanic. It's sinking. Don't hand out weapons to elderly people and kids like the Germans did at the end of World War II. You gotta know when to hold them and when to fold them. You gotta know when the battle's lost before the battle begins. If people want to go into that suicidal samurai mode, you know what I mean? Then let them. They have every right to do it. It's their country. It's their vibe. It's their tribe. It's their feelings of being patriots. Can't take that away from nobody. But the rest of us, no. America, stand up. You know this ain't right. And I know there's some people going to be throwing tomatoes at me proverbially. Oh, you coward. You don't know what you're talking about. No, I want to live my life. I don't want to be witness to a worldwide human holocaust because some nutcase who's running a country decides to start throwing nuclear weapons at us. Come on, people. You're better than that. Come on, people. Come on. This will pass like it always does. If he takes over the country, at least these people, the ones who leave, you live to fight another day. There's no reason to die senselessly. Do you understand that? I repeat, there's no reason to die senselessly. You know what I mean? Because it means nothing at the end. Maybe to you, if it means that much, then you got to do what you got to do. But don't beg us in Europe to get involved and jump in the octagon with a 500-pound fucking gorilla. That's my thought. Straight from my heart. I'm sorry if I offended some people. My Ukrainian friend, Anton, you know what I'm saying? And the rest of the people I know, you know what I mean? They work currently now in Berlin, Germany. It's the way I feel. Can't help it. Stay safe, people.